Okay guys, Bob here. So today we are going to install a 904 deep aluminum transmission pan for a Chrysler 904 Torqueflyte transmission. It's the one for the Imperial drag car here. So this thing clocks in at a healthy 5 pounds. Kind of heavy. And there's the part number, SME-1010. So let's get this installed. It's pretty much straightforward. It comes with the spacer for the filter. Comes with new bolts because the pan's deeper, so you gotta have longer bolts. And a gasket. The gasket looks a little, I don't know, that ain't hitting on much. But we'll give it a shot. And I'd rather have a thick cork gasket with a metal backing. And some, like I said, some bolts and a new filter. And here's the pan itself. Finned. It's got big, thick flanges on it, as you can see. All right, let's get started. All right, so here are the tools that I anticipate I'm going to need. Got a gasket scraper. I got a little plastic rubber mallet, screwdriver, and a pry bar. That'll help get the old pan off it. I got a sneaky feeling it's probably glued on there pretty good. I've got some black RTV. I'd rather have the orange in this situation due to the heat, but I got to use what I got. Small and a small and a medium extension bar. My row of sockets feel like it's going to be a 7/16, but who knows. And a ratchet and a little bucket to put the bolts in, and like I said, I got my flashlight, and it swivels so I can put the light where I need it, and a fluorescent light, and of course a drain pan. All right, let's get started. And you always want to make sure you got your car supported. I got jack stands in the back, jack stands in the front. It's also on ramps, and I got some blocks of wood just to be precautious, and so I think we're good. Always check, make sure everything's like it's supposed to be. Looks like everything's fine. All the jack stands, nothing's happened since I was out here last. It is dirty under this floor, probably have to sweep it. But I got my cardboard here. We'll push it along, get up under there. Okay, there's the pan right there. As you can see, it's just a regular stock pan. It doesn't have a drain on it. And these are the bolts. And it's got a floor shifter in it, so you got just stuff here you got to deal with. A lot of times I don't think it's got a shifter bracket. No, it doesn't. Good. Cool. They didn't mount the shifter bracket, the little linkage bracket on the pan. I've done that before, and when you do that, you have to take that apart to take the pan off. So they did something different. That's great. They mounted it to this piece here. I'm not sure what that is. All right, good. So since it doesn't have a drain pan, I'm going to have to take out some bolts, and I'll probably let it drain from the back. And once it gets a few bolts, I'll leave a couple of bolts in it at the front to kind of hold the pan in place so it won't drop all of a sudden. And I'll take the bolts off in the back here. And I don't know, maybe I should take them off in the front. It gives me a little more room with the oil pan. But anyhow, we'll drop a few bolts and loosen up some others where the pan will just start to leak, and we'll take that screwdriver I mentioned and just kind of grab it, pull it down a little bit, and we'll slowly loosen the bolts till all the fluid is drained out. And that's what we'll do. Once all the fluid is drained out, we can go ahead and remove all the bolts. And hopefully, and it doesn't look like it, hopefully they didn't silicone the crap out of that gasket. And that's got the kind of gasket I like. The rubber with the metal backing in it. God, I wish I'd have got one of those. I should have thought about that. Okay, so I got all the bolts out across the front, and these two on the ends are out. Actually, they're not. I'm sorry, they got them real loose. I'm sorry. And I staggered them as I came to the back. They're not quite as loose, so it's already starting to drip in the back for some reason. So I had to pull my pan back a little bit further. Let me see if I can break this transmission loose with that screwdriver, the pan loose, so it can start draining. Alrighty, I got it real easily. Just took the screwdriver, just kind of stuck it in the wedge, in between the pan and the transmission. And it's draining. Transmission fluid looks okay from what I can tell. It smells okay. So we'll let it sit there and drain, and while it's doing its thing there, make sure all of it's getting in the pan, don't make a mess. And then once that drains, we'll loosen it, lower, keep loosening the bolts a little bit more, continue to drain. And as easy as that pan broke free, I don't think there's any silicone on it. This may take a few minutes. Well, that didn't take long. It's still dripping a little bit, so that was maybe 3 minutes. So I'm going to continue to loosen up the bolts and let the pan drop down a little bit further. And got a little bit of a spill right here. I hate that, but that's okay. It is what it is. And most of the fluid is out of the pan, out of it now, so we should be fine. All right, so I've loosened up some more bolts. I think the only thing is holding is these back on these 4 across the back, and I've got them pretty loose, and it's continuing to drip. So let it drip a few more minutes, and we'll loosen them up a little bit more, and the pan is coming off pretty easy. Okay, the transmission pan is off. Gasket did come with it, as you can see. And the transmission itself looks good and clean. Always what I like to do, I like to take notice of the filter, where the 3 screws are, or where they belong, where the filter positions itself up under there, because you can install those wrong. Notice a little notch in my case on this transmission, this little notch right here. So it appears to be square other than a notch at the right. This would be the right rear, front and rear. So passenger side rear. So I'll take a picture of that just for reference, and get me a little rag and just kind of wipe. I'm not worried about it dripping through here. Just want to make sure the pan rail is good and clean. No drips on it. So I don't see anything. I don't see any old gaskets. So I think we're good. I think we're good, guys. All right, let me get started on that. All right, so it comes with 2 gaskets. They're different. I'm thinking one's for a 727 and one's for a 904, and they were paper clipped together, and I managed to rip one of them. Cheap damn gaskets. But this is definitely different. I think they are. It's a lot smaller. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I got 2, so I may run in the house. I got a parts room in the house that has brand new transmission parts in it. One of my spare bedrooms, and we'll see if we can't come up with a better gasket than that. Oh, there's a filter right here that goes with this adapter. It goes between the filter and the transmission valve body. So if you're doing a 904, probably a 727, you need to make sure you put that in. I don't want the wind to blow that away, so you're gonna set that right there. Yeah, let me run into the house right quick. Well, I got one. It came in a B&M Transhift kit that I had on the shelf. Brand new. And of course, both 727 and 904 are in there. But it's made out of cork. Not real crazy about that. This thing here is just too thin. I guess if I'm going to use one, I'll use this one. That's what Summit sent. Just glue the hell out of it. Okay, just to confirm, though the pans do match. You see the little notch here, notch there, bolt in the center. So that is a 904 pan, just make sure. And little rubber gasket, that's what I like. But I'm gonna just glue the heck out of this one. Okay, filter's off. There it is laying in the drain pan right there. So let's get the spacer with the gasket behind the spacer and the filter ready to go on. And you'll notice, I think these are the 3 holes right here, 1, 2, 3. And I did take a little rag and just kind of dabbed the bottom of the valve body just to get it clean, but it's starting to leak again, so it's going to continue to do that. So I think we'll be okay. Filter's submerged in, the gasket is submerged in the transmission fluid anyway. Okay, the gasket and the filter is installed along with the spacer. You see I got my little notch to the back, bolted up just like it should. There's little lock washers. Make sure you put your lock washers on. Make sure all 3 bolts go through the gasket. They did. So I got them snugly tight, not He-Man tight, not Hercules, but they're good and tight. See if I can demonstrate how tight I've got them here. You want to thread these with the screwdriver as much as possible to keep from touching the filter and getting any contamination in it. So that's pretty tight there. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned it, the transmission fluid looks good, it smells good, so I don't think we've got any problem there. This transmission looks like it was fairly recently put in, and it does have a reverse manual valve body in it with I think a turbo action. It shifted perfect, so I'm not going to do anything with the bands. So let me go get the pan. Let's bolt the pan up. Okay, I went on and put the plug in. In my case, on this pan, it's an H8 hex. So you see that? And I found the correct socket to fit these bolts that they gave me. Star multi-point, and that turned out to be a 11/32 in my case. So got all that done ahead of time. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna flip it over, and I've already wiped the pan out on the inside. By the way, it did say, let me show you this, which I saw that when I bought it. I like that. It says made in the good old USA. So like I said, I've wiped the pan out. So let me get the gasket glued on. All right, I got the gasket on, trying to get it to seal up. And I went on to set the bolts in there to kind of hold the gasket in place. Make sure if you get a little extra, try to wipe it out. Need to do that. Well, so I'm tightening up all the bolts, and for whatever reason, that one there would not tighten up. So, sorry about that. It's hard to do this. Just wouldn't tighten up, so I pulled the bolt back out, chased it. It's good. And I got a tap, getting ready to put a tap in it, see if somehow or another a thread in the transmission got damaged. First time tightening this bolt, I took the old one out, no problem. I've never ever installed any of these bolts until today. Just simply threading it in, and it just wouldn't ever tighten up. It started getting a little snug, and just a tiny bit snug. I don't know what the hell. And then it just started getting loose again. So let me chase it with a thread chaser. Okay, folks, it's Bob here. I'm back. What is this, day 850? Working on the Imperial, something like that. Give or take a day or two. Anyhow, I got called off of this car. It's Saturday. I haven't worked on this car since, I think, Monday. I got called off of this car because I had customer work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday was a trip. I did some crazy stuff. I got the customer happy. Got the cars looking good. Friday, I was planning on having a day off. My dad called. Wasn't feeling good. Wanted to go to the doctor, so I had to do that. So I took him to the doctor, got him cleared away, take him out to lunch, all that kind of stuff. He's good. So we're back here Saturday. We're gonna work on this Imperial again. Along the way, as you saw, I'm continuing on with the video, had this bolt strip out. I think I got it in my pocket. Yes, I do. Right here. The bolt's fine. The aluminum in the trans case stripped. I didn't do it. Previous person before me did it. Tried tapping it. No good. Thought about running a through bolt through it. It's gonna be a little difficult. It's busy on the top side and the left side where it's really hard to get in there. Posted on my Facebook page, and one of my buddies saw it. He said, I've got some self-tappers. And he said, I've used them in 727 transmissions on my race cars. He said, they work great. He said, they don't ever back out. He said, they bite into the aluminum, and if you need to take the pan off, they'll come right back out. A little skeptical about that, because when you conjure up self-tappers, good Lord, people think they'll fall out. But he assured me they didn't. He even showed me one. He had happened to have his car on a lift. He just put a new fresh engine in it. And he showed me, he said, that self-tapper's been in there for years, and I've pulled this pan down a couple times. So anyway, so he gave me a bag of them. This is them right here. So you got Bob on the box. He gave me all kind of bolts and nuts and stuff. But this is them here. And the thing about these are metric I forget the size, but they're slightly bigger than the 5/16 bolt that came supplied with the pan. So this is a slightly bigger bolt, and it's supposed to thread itself in there. So we're gonna crawl up under there and find out here in just a second. Also, I bought some, I looked into these. I was watching another YouTube video, and the guy recommended, if you're on these aerosol cans, you can buy these caps because they tend to clog up. So what the hell, they were just a few bucks. I bought some of those. The tape is just something I brought out here. And I bought a thread kit, thread repair kit, just in case the self-tappers don't work. Pretty neat kit. It was like, I think $35 on Amazon. Check that bad boy out. Get the instructions out of the way. But it comes with all of that. You get a drill bit, a tap, installation tool, a tool to break the ping with. If you don't know what the ping is, that's a little tab. Right there, you see a little tab that kind of turns and goes across right here. Often you need to break that loose, so that's what that tool does. And of course it comes with the inserts. And there's the sizes that it comes with. I've not used it yet. I'm not endorsed or sponsored by it. I'm not going to recommend it because I haven't used it yet. But I'm just going to say it looks nice and it looks complete. So we'll get it out here in a minute. I mean, actually, hopefully, I hope these self-tappers do the job. Anyhow, let me get started. Let me crawl up under the car and try one and see what happens. Okay, guys. Well, I tried to use that bolt my buddy gave me, and it wouldn't work either. It wouldn't tighten up either. And so then I tried to tap it, and no such luck. So I should have drilled it before I tapped it. Should have went oversized and tried that. And I thought I had enough of a hole there that I didn't need to drill it. I didn't want to take any chance of shaving to get him a trans pan, so took a chance and it didn't work. So what I'm doing now, I had to pull this neutral safety switch out, which was fun. I have to disconnect the linkage, as you see right here. And neat little bracket that they've made. That's homemade, but it's pretty good. And it wasn't too hard to get that off, but had to get all that out of the way to get to the neutral safety switch, which is wired up to the shifter, which I like. And I think it's about the tech guy will check that. I've had him check that on me before. Now I just got to run a through bolt. I found a through bolt, but it's got a shoulder on it, and the bolt hole is not wide enough for the shoulder. So let me run a skinnier bolt down through there just to make sure that idea will work. If it does, I may try to trim that shoulder down, and I need to trim that head down because I've got to get the neutral safety switch back in. And of course, the corner, every time you turn it, the corner is going to hit that nut. So it's going to be a challenge to do this, but let's see what we can do. All right, so if this bolt here will go through, I had to tap threads all the way through it to get past that shoulder. And I went over to the bench grinder and ground the head down, and it does fit in the 1/2-inch wrench. So we can tighten it up as long as it'll clear that neutral safety switch. I think it will. It's not exactly perfectly flat on top. I can get the file out and finish it up if I need to. But let's go see if this works. Okay, guys, well, I was able to successfully do that. I got the bolt in, as you can see right here, right there, and I got the neutral safety switch back on. And there is the bolt sticking through right there. Where we at? Right here. Right there. All right, so let me tighten everything up and get the linkage back on. We should be good to go. Okay, guys, I got it all put back together. I got the bolt in good and tight right there, as you can see. And I put that little long, I made that to kind of help spread the load out since it's a different bolt. Got everything tight. I reconfigured the top here, the linkage or shift linkage. It did come from the bottom and the pin was on top. Could not get it back in. So I screwed the little plastic nut out 4 turns and put the pin in through the bottom. And in order to do that, I had to loosen these U-bolts right here. Give me a little wiggle room, and once I got those loose, I was able to get it on, get this bracket on, and I tightened the U-bolts back up. And then this bolt right here, that nut, the bolt did come up from the bottom. I got it coming down from the top. Wish they'd have made me a little bit longer bolt, but it is what it is. So we got it all back together. I reconfigured it to make it a little easier for me to service in the future. But I think we're okay. So guys, I hope you got something out of that. That was a challenge, that one bolt stripping out. Had the headers not been in the way, I could have got in there and tapped it, I believe, but headers prevented me from being able to get in there easier. So folks, please hit that like button. This is a race car, so it's not, I know a lot of you guys probably ain't into that, but hit that like button and scroll down, watch some of the other videos. We got 5 years of videos. Unbelievable, the stuff we got now. I'm sure that you'll see something else you like, and please watch that. I appreciate every one of you for watching the videos, and comment respectively if you can. We're right here working our tail off on these cars, the field agents and I. And we do what we can. None of us are trained mechanics, but one of them is, but he's more of a diesel guy. All right, folks, Bob out.